You're on the punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez.
Yes, you're on the punchline today.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo está? We have a lot.
Sta bene.
We have a lot of things to go over today.
Si.
See,
Yeah, we do.
there's some MMA world stuff.
Where to begin?
There's some stuff in the MMA world about some fines being put out and things like that. We can even talk about some comebacks in boxing.
Madonna.
Also, Maidana coming back. Let's also talk about today. We want to wish
Robert Garcia a happy day of birth.
happy 44th birthday, Robert. We hope it's good for you, and we're happy you got your cake today from me, you, and Lily. Make sure you got the cake, so that was awesome.
We didn't do anything to the cake either, I promise.
Lily probably did.
Yeah.
She said she went to Oxnard and got the strawberries on it. Lily, yes, you can.
So we didn't hear that.
Lily's watching. No, I don't know. But no,
there is a lot to talk about today.
there is, and we're just trying to get on board, guys, with our phones and getting everything set up for the show. Justin's a lot more organized than we are. We're pretty shitty when it comes to getting stuff together.
May need his phone today.
What?
May need his phone today. Depending on the YouTube questions. Yeah, but there was man, what a lot of fights to cover too, guys. So bear with us on this.
How you doing, Steve? Steve Stoller's back. Josh Patton's back. What? He's been in love so long.
Oh.
He's been in love. We ain't seen him anymore. Oh, guys.
Gina Davis is on.
I got my new Christmas present today from Kelly. It took a while to come in, but look.
Sleep not.
I got the new Slipknot hoodie from Kelly for my homie, and I love it. Thank you. We get each other cool Christmas presents every year. Hey, Patricia. That's my girl, Patricia, homie.
Yep.
Jeannie's watching. Jeannie Johnson. She pretty much works here too,
Yeah,
doesn't she?
she does.
She helps out. And hey, Terry's watching too. Amy and Terry are watching. We can't do it without them. But no, what do you want to get into first? We could get into the fights, but let's talk about the drama, the chisme. We're hearing Maidana is possibly making a comeback. He's in Vegas right now talking. I don't know if he's going to Robert Garcia yet, from what I hear, but it's possible. But he's looking, and he's looking at a fight with Jaime Munguia.
Yeah.
At 54. What do you think?
Well, Munguia looked pretty good the other night. Not great. I still think Hurd beats him at middleweight, or junior middleweight.
I think a few of the guys beat him at that weight. What do you think?
But I just think for Maidana, personally, in my opinion, I know Maidana's big. I know he's coming in. He's going to have to lose 40 pounds or whatever.
60.
Even if he had to lose 90.
Yeah.
Munguia is a natural, active, big junior middleweight.
6'1".
Yeah, and Maidana, I just don't know about that being up at that weight class. It'll be different.
It is different. What do you think? Like, the thing about that is this.
Francesca Travolta. Oh, I'm sorry.
Robert, thank you, Amanda. No, Robert had a good point. He said, cutting weight like that's not easy. He said, Maidana might cut the first 30 and think, fuck, I have another 30 pounds to cut. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That the first 30 wasn't easy. Now you have to cut another 30.
Well, not only that. I mean, okay, for instance, me right now. Even though it's a little easier for me to go to heavyweight for this reason.
For cruiser, yeah.
Heavyweight and cruiserweight, they're still not as athletically talented.
Yeah.
They're usually a lot of your heavyweights and cruiserweights are bigger people that just were big their entire life.
Football players.
Yeah, so for me being 240, but still going to fight a guy that's been fighting heavyweight, even if he weighs 230 and I'm heavier than he is, it's still a totally different, ball game as to compared to being a guy that fought at lightweight, junior welterweight, and as up to maybe welterweight, and then you're coming back after that layoff and you're going to fight a 6'1" naturally big junior middleweight.
That's athletic.
That's athletic. So even if you carried that weight when you competed, you didn't. Yeah, that wasn't your competition weight, and it's different. It really is.
Esteban says, Munguia looked like he's learning to fight from the outside. Kind of you're right, Esteban, but you got to remember this. Munguia is a Mexican fighter. And for the most part, Mexican fighters are great inside fighters, and he possibly may be learning to fight on the outside. That's something that a lot of Mexican fighters aren't taught as well. They're taught mid-range and close-range fighting because that's the way they fight.
Yep.
And so maybe he is learning, but I'm not sold on Munguia. I'm not.
I don't think he beats a herd. He looked better though in this fight, and that kid that he fought, it's an awkward. Anyways, awkward. But real quick, Steve says I look big. Thanks, Steve. What's up, Kelly? I'm a big fan. I think your first comeback fight, if you do come back, should be Chavez Jr. or Angulo.
Was that from Fullmetal Jacket? Muboku.
Noah or who?
Some of the Alabama black
Ricardo.
snake.
We'll see what happens with Chavez if he hops up. The only way I'll fight him if he comes up to cruiserweight.
You would fight Chavez? That'd be an easy fight for you.
Yep. No, I will not be going to the super middleweight. My ass is not going below 200.
Do you know who would be a good fight for you too? Fonfara. You saw him train, and he's about your height, about your size. I mean, that would be a good fight for you to come back on too.
Yep.
But like I said, we'll see. There's a lot more that goes into it than just
There's going to be plenty of time before we make that decision. But it will be on the punchline.
It's not about what you want or what anybody. There's a lot of things going to. You got family and kids and dad and brothers and sisters and sisters. You know what I mean. And everybody, it's funny because a lot of people that watch it, they all think they know what's best for a fighter's career, but really, nobody really does, but you.
Jake says, I agree with the ruling, Swarm Fight Team. It needs to stay in the octagon. Swarm Fight Team said, Khabib and Conor. Fair ruling.
How's it a fair ruling? Conor didn't get shit.
That's why I know. And
Conor didn't get fined anything. Khabib paid $500K.
Well, they're going to try and say that because it wasn't on UFC.
Especially this is Conor's second offense too. I mean, it's not it's the first time.
Yeah, and he literally injured 3 fighters.
They're going to try to say that it wasn't at a UFC event, but it was at a UFC.
It was in the arena.
Yeah, and it involved UFC fighters.
It was in the parking garage. That is.
I know, but I'm saying, they're kind of that's what they're trying to say.
No, you know what
it was.
What it is. It's somebody that's clearly a Conor McGregor fan trying to make a fucking excuse for Conor's bad behavior. Conor got exactly what he deserved that night, and fuck him. And you know what? I hope Khabib does it again. He injured 3 innocent fighters that had nothing to do with that situation. And you know what? Let me tell you another thing. And I'll bring it up. I don't care. Fuck it. I'll deal with Matt later on.
230 Pittsburgh.
I'll deal with Matt later on this. But no, like Matt Brown said, we're good buddies. We talk. Conor McGregor does that shit to people he can get away with. He's a fucking bully. If he gets a chance, he will do that shit. But you don't see him doing that shit to guys like Matt Brown, Nick Diaz, Nate Diaz, Donald Cerrone. He don't do that to people like that will fucking kill them after the fight. You know what I mean? He's doing it to people and he believed that Khabib was going to turn the other cheek. Khabib's a fucking monster.
Yeah, he is.
You picked the wrong ethnicity.
I know. He does.
You picked the wrong... Dude, you don't deal with Russians, Kazakhs, Ukrainians, nothing like that. They hold grudges for the rest of their life.
Conor, he got away with it so long that I think now it's starting to change a little bit, though. Yeah. And he does know who he's fucking with and who he ain't.
Yeah.
He won't do it.
No, and it's true. It's a bully mentality. And then he got in the ring and he thought that Khabib, he could do that. And then in the ring he said it was just business. No. To a guy like Khabib, that's not business. When you talk about their family, his children, you
can't do that with anybody, let alone Ukrainian or you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I think Americans and British and for the most part, I think that they understand about building a fight.
Yeah,
those motherfuckers on that side of the Danube, they don't understand building a fight. They don't understand that. He wears a little hat, he comes in. And,
Lobster 11 goes, Luke Thomas made a good point that the NAC is self-funded since 2016, so this also makes it a big suspect.
Yeah, it's true.
Pittsburgh says, Conor gave Dana half his purse against Mayweather. That's Dana's money train.
Yep.
We understand it, but fair is fair too, though.
Yeah, it's true. And Thurman says, Kovalev Alvarez this weekend. Oh, I got Alvarez winning again. I don't think Kovalev is the same guy that he was, and I just don't see a way that Kovalev's going to get over this hurdle.
I don't either. I mean, it's just too many fights now, and he's no spring chicken.
No.
He was punished for both incidents.
Dylan says, "Sup guys?" Virgil's, "What's up? Sup guys?" Hey, what's up, Virgil? Another thing I wanted to go out and say, hey, it was a great win by Virgil Ortiz.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
He looked sharp. You know what I liked about it?
Yeah.
He went in, and earlier on, he was real big with throwing a lot of hard punches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This fight, I think he really, really matured, because always knew his skill level was fantastic, and always knew that his power is fantastic, and his chin and everything else. He really went out in this fight, and against an awkward opponent, and an opponent that will make anybody look bad, and he shined. Yeah. And he put everything together, and I'm not saying this, but this is an unbelievable prospect, and this kid is going to go far.
I think he's moved from that point of a prospect to a young contender. I think he might have broke the top 20 this time.
He should have.
You know, and what really impressed me was this. His dad, Virgil Sr., he's our buddy and everything. And I'm just saying, I was really impressed with his Facebook post. He could have got on there and said, my son is the next coming of the greatest fighter. And he said he was disappointed in how Virgil fought. I was like, you know, he didn't, but I thought Virgil Jr. looked great. I was more impressed with his composure. You know, he saw a cut, and you know more than anybody, Kelly. When you're a young fighter and you see a cut like that, you go crazy.
Absolutely, yeah.
You're like a fuck, but he didn't.
You know, he's like comparing it to a shark.
Yeah. When you opened a cut on somebody like that when you were young, were you?
Oh yeah, you smell blood, you go for it. You know, for a lot of reasons.
Yep.
Robert goes, you say he didn't do it to Nate Diaz. He threw a can of Monster at him. That was at a press conference.
No, we're talking about in real life.
Yeah, real life.
We're talking about real life. We're not talking about selling a show.
We're talking about behind off camera and back in the locker rooms when there ain't a camera going, or at, you know, things like that.
Yeah. You know why he threw that can of Monster at Nate Diaz? Because there was security there. Yeah. And about 20 people to break that shit up. Yep. Am I right, Justin?
Exactly. You get a whole team with you, your camp and everything else.
People in those situations, they get team muscles.
Exactly.
I mean, shit.
You know, somebody that's like this typical bully at school. When he fights somebody that he knows he might not be able to beat, he'll hit him, and he'll wait till there's a teacher standing around or somebody's going to break it up. Yeah.
Scott Marion from Team Swarm says, couldn't agree more on Connor. He draws, so gets a pass. Throwing water bottle, jumping over bell door cage, throwing a dolly at a bus, nothing happens. It's true. I agree. Caitlin McFarland says, you're all my favorite. Oh, thank you, Caitlin. You're awesome, too. Kovalev is one-dimensional.
What's up, Joel?
Steven, I don't think Kovalev is one-dimensional. I really don't. I think Kovalev I think all his demons are caught up to him. The things he does outside the ring, they finally caught up to him. And, you know, with this sport, you dance with the devil long enough, you're going to have to pay for it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. The King of Fight Night memes. What's up? What upcoming fights are you guys looking forward to the most?
Oh, man.
Javante. Mikey. Yeah, Javante next week.
Mikey,
this weekend.
Obviously.
Mikey, Spence.
Crawford Khan. Canelo Jacobs. Mm-hmm. Dude, this whole fucking summer we better get some good sponsors because we gotta fuck out of here.
Yes, Nick, we'll be at the Spence Garcia fight.
Damon says, Kelly James, did you peep Ortiz Jr.'s feet and angles against Southpaw? Execution was perfect. I did see his angles. Did you see?
Wait, what was it?
Damon wants to know, did you guys see Ortiz's feet?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. The whole package. That's what I watch for when I watch fights. I mean, there's a lot of little things, and that's why I was saying, like, how he was mixing the punches, throwing hard punches, light punches, little pitter pats to, you know, the angles he was doing. He did a lot of nice angles.
Yeah. Joe Albrecht, hey boys, what's up, Joe? But there was a good question here. James A. Allen says, that's why I was disappointed that they didn't let Mayweather finish him, talking about Connor. He did finish him. Yeah. There was nothing more he could do. Connor had a head injury after that fight. I mean, there's nothing more you could have done.
We got Nebsy Boxing and stuff. He goes, how is Crawford going to approach Khan? Do you see similarities between Khan and Gamboa? Great show. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. No, I don't see any similarities.
Not at all. Khan's tall. He's big. He's probably got the fastest hands in the sport, along with Gary Russell and Lomachenko. Khan can fight, and like we tapped on the last couple of weeks, I haven't seen too many people beat Khan as far as outboxing him or beating him in a fight.
You're going to have to knock him out.
You got to knock him out, which we know he gets knocked out. But if the fight goes to decision, that's why I see it being a very interesting decision. It's hard for me to see anybody outboxing Khan.
Yeah, you know, but I think too, and I think Crawford is just an amazing specimen when it comes as a fighter. Crawford's one of those guys that doesn't do anything great. He does everything well. He's a lot like, I'm not comparing the two, like style-wise, but him and Mikey are the same kind of fighter. They do everything well. There's not really a glaring weakness, you know, other than like the obvious Mikey, like maybe he don't go to the body as much and he might stay in the pocket a little too long. Those are little things, but I'm talking about like, they're just fundamentally they're pretty sound guys.
They are. So he adjusted well, it's just detailed. I felt. Well, you can read Virgil's. You're on the Facebook. I got YouTube.
Oh, Dylan said Easter versus Linares. I'm going to take Easter over Linares.
Ooh.
Linares just come off a first round knockout.
He did, but I don't see. Yeah, I don't see Walters. I don't see him knocking out.
No, Easter.
Or I mean Easter. I don't see
Robert
him
Easter
knocking
can
out.
crack.
He can. I know.
And he can fight.
I think hopping on that with Linares fight, I just think he got caught early and didn't recover for it.
Yeah, I would just take Easter. I'm a fan of Easter's now. I don't know. I really like Robert Easter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do too. I do. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think it's going to be a great fight. I don't see it being a first round knockout.
No, I don't know. I would pick Easter in that fight, and I just don't know what happened that night with Linares. You know?
Yeah, Virgil says he adjusted well. It's just details I felt was off small ones, but I'm still good with his performance.
Yeah, and you know,
absolutely you should.
Absolutely, you really should. Virgil, and I know you know better than we do. He's your boy, but I think he's so far ahead of most of the other prospects out there. Him and Teofimo Lopez are well ahead of everyone else.
I think so.
They're head and shoulders above the other. What do you think?
I think so. I agree 1,000%.
Yeah. Oh, Jesse's saying, I'm saying knocking out. Yeah, Jesse, you know, it would have happened, but the referee did the right thing and stopped that fight that night. It could have caused more damage. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, no matter if they're assholes or not. Chris Henderson, he's been doing some freelance writing for the Punchline, which one of the best writers in the business today. He got the call with Gervonta tomorrow. So he's going to be doing a Gervonta interview, and he's put on the show, and he did Thurman too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a whole
follow into the site for, you know, the details and the interview and everything else.
You know what? Kelly is probably better at this than I am, Darren. There's talks of Joshua, Big Baby Miller. Do you think Big Baby Miller has a shot? I think he beats Anthony Joshua.
Ooh. I think so.
He's
I don't think that Joshua will be able to keep up with the punch output.
You can't keep up with him.
And I don't see him knocking him out.
You can't hurt him.
Yeah.
350-pound man that throws 70 punches around.
I think that's a very interesting fight.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect fight for Big Baby Miller to win a world title.
Yeah. No, I really agree. We won't forget Shakur Keon. We were just holding on to that. But you know, the thing with Shakur is he's still in those single digits of fights yet. You know, that's why we
that last fight was a little too quick to, you know, I know that the first round knockouts are impressive, but you also want to see what happens.
And the level of competition. Shakur's level of competition hasn't been Virgil Ortiz or Teofimo Lopez. These guys are knocking out former world champions, you know, and right now, Shakur has a great upside. I like the kid. I just think that I think that Top Rank's doing the right thing. They're moving him at Top Rank speed.
That's what Top Rank does with their guys.
Top Rank makes you a star.
I think Shakur is going to know he's going to be a world champion under Top Rank.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing Top Rank does better than any other promotional company, I'm not shitting on anybody because they're all good. I'm saying Top Rank makes you a fucking star. Yeah. And they move you at the right speed. And I don't know.
Make sure you're ready.
And I'm not sure if that's Todd or Bruce or a few of the other ones doing that, but they know, or Lee, because they move you at the right speed.
Yep.
They moved you perfect, didn't they?
They did. I had no complaints. They put me in against tough ones when time was right.
Esteban, my only problem with Haney is he doesn't punch for shit. You know what I mean? And that's my only thing with Haney. And yeah, I mean, Haney's a future opponent, but a lot of times, Esteban, you get in this prospect, like they need to fight each other. Ain't gonna happen. These guys aren't gonna risk these cash cows, these young prospects against each other.
Some of these promoters will. I mean, they're moving these guys fast, but I don't think
it's not gonna be Golden Boy or Top Rank or PBC. They ain't gonna risk those. You know what I mean?
Yep. Well, let's get into the other ones real quick.
Well, let's hit on
let's hit on Thurman.
Well, going to this fight, we both had Thurman winning. Mm-hmm. We knew we pretty much knew it. But I did say that Lopez was not going to be a pushover, and I think we both were right. People slept on Lopez thinking he was a joke. This kid came in to fight.
I agree, but I think a lot of people are knocking Thurman.
Oh, yes.
The kid had over a 2-year layoff.
Yes.
I thought he looked good, very good
yes.
for having that. And I thought that against a tough opponent, and especially under the tutelage of Robert Garcia, and I don't care if you guys think I'm saying that because I'm friends with Robert and he was my coach. Robert had his camp. You go to Robert Garcia's camp, you're going to come out knowing how to fight, let alone him training you.
Yes.
And so there was a very well-prepared Lopez, and I thought Thurman fought a very good fight for being off, and he could have had a chance of having Lopez out also. And I think if that fight was a year and a half ago, he knocks Lopez out.
I think so too.
So,
you know what? I'm not going to shit on Thurman's performance. Thurman had 2 years off. He was rusty. But Thurman looked really fucking good. And anybody that say any different, you have something against him. It's not. Yeah. I mean, any fighter. I don't give a fuck who it is. You take Floyd Mayweather in his prime and give him 2 years off. It's not going to be the same.
Exactly.
Floyd.
Now, granted, I don't think even if he didn't have 2 years off and he looked really, really good, I still don't see him beating Crawford or Spence.
Or even, I don't even think Mikey Garcia.
Or Mikey.
I don't think any.
It's still hard to keep saying Mikey because I'm just.
He's not a welterweight.
Yeah, I'm getting used to the.
But he is a welterweight.
He is.
Somebody says, Chris says, Bruce is and was the best matchmaker in the sport for many years. He was. He understands what people want, and that's huge. Bruce Trampler is great at what he does.
Yeah, he is.
Does Munguia stay at 54? Where does he's having trouble? And he is. And he even said himself he only has 2 or 3 more fights at that weight. And that's why I'm kind of excited to see if Maidana does fight him. Do I think Maidana beats him? I don't think so. I love Maidana.
Yeah,
we've been part of the team. We've been part of Robert. But let's be fair, guys. Maidana was a 140, 147 guy, and he's 5'8", maybe at the most. That's a.
I mean, you're going to see it's going to be a big difference in size and strength.
He can't hurt him. He might be able to hurt Munguia, but I don't know, man. And he's been out of the ring for how many years? 3, 4 years?
Justin, you want to text me those or YouTube? I don't have YouTube.
Oh, you had it up on your thing.
How am I going to get it?
Omi Medina wanted us to talk about Emil Ramos as a pound-for-pound great. Emil!
Oh, no. You want to get me on it, bro?
Dude, why don't you have him put the Emil up, the video from Emil on our Facebook?
I'm not putting any videos up.
No, from from my Facebook.
Emil, the dude that got
that dude got KO'd, he went face first. Did you see that, Emil? The one that was talking shit? Well, if you go to my Facebook, you can pull the Emil video.
That poor guy got brutalized, man.
We should post it, though. We should put
if
that.
If any of you guys are friends with James or Bobby Sanchez or Damon Martinez on Facebook, go watch it. It's funny as hell.
Dude, that Laura dude, that dude was just killing him. Dude, Laura was like a savage just making fun of this dude. Keon, I'm going to go with Clarissa Shields. Hammer is another one. She's good, but she hasn't impressed me. I think Clarissa Shields is a better fighter all the way around.
Okay, you got Jay Cortenaz, 361. He goes, Thurman won't beat Pacquiao. I have to disagree with you on that.
I disagree.
I think Thurman beats Pacquiao. 3 years ago, no. But I think now he does. And he goes, is Maidana really coming back? As of right now, yes. Yes, he is.
Ryan Freeson said, just share this page about 30 boxing groups. Keep up the intelligent discussion. Love the punchline. Thank you, Ryan. It means a lot to us when you guys do that. I know there's other shows out there you guys can watch, but it's, we really appreciate anybody who tunes in. We don't consider you guys fans. We consider you guys family and friends. So, that's what we try to do.
Hey, we got a good one here.
Yeah.
Question, Hector Roman. What do you guys think of Aaron calling Porter, Thurman, and Danny Garcia pedestrians at 147?
Who?
And Bud and Earl are the only elite ones.
Who called him that?
Bob Arum.
He has to. Bob Arum has to do that. He's trying to build his fighters. Do I agree with it? No.
I don't think. No. I don't. That's hard. I understand he's a promoter, but
Josh Patton says, I love Christina Hammer. I think she outclasses her. Why do you think Josh Patton says she loves Christina Hammer? Okay, Josh. I got to take Shields. She's getting better and you know what? People don't realize how strong Clarissa Shields is. You know, when she was on the Olympic team, she was sparring with Errol Spence. That's a strong bitch.
Yeah.
You're sparring with Errol Spence. Come on, man. And not just him. You're sparring with most of these.
You can see the difference. She fights like a dude. You know what I mean? Like there's no.
And we're not saying she's a dude. We're just saying that she fights.
Yeah, and that's a compliment. Jay Corton says, if Madonna's coming back, Kelly, you better come back. Madonna wasn't out for 6 years.
Close.
Julian Slowwater says, Josito Lopez was looking for the upset. He was in Thurman's face the whole fight, but he lost the fight. He gave a valiant effort, in my opinion. He absolutely did.
Yeah. Yeah, Corleen says, Thurman's feet look great, and he was surprisingly sharp, but he did move too much. All in all, I gave him a B. I can't argue with Corleen on that. Mm-hmm. But I will say one thing, and I don't know if you agree or not, Kelly. I think that Lopez made the fight harder on himself because he don't know how to cut the ring off. I don't know if he doesn't know how to cut the ring off or he just doesn't give a fuck about cutting the ring off. And with a guy like Thurman that moves like that, you have to cut the ring off.
Exactly.
You come in, you gonna say hi, Viking Herm?
Come say hi.
Everybody asks about you. You don't even hang out with us anymore.
Bahez Deep says, Kelly, I love you, bro. It was great hearing you on the drill. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
No, I mean, honestly, I think that...
You can bring your drink.
I think Josecito made... Yeah, you can bring your drink. I think Josecito made it harder on himself by not cutting the ring off. You know, he chased Thurman. And I know it's easier said than done, but that's not... I
don't think he was ready for that.
If you're a 45-fight pro, that's something you should do.
Is Thurman's power questionable?
No.
Ever since he stepped up, his power hasn't shown.
Absolutely not. He hits hard.
No, and he hurt Lopez.
Yeah. You know what the problem with Thurman is? He doesn't have a lot of output. And that might be why his power doesn't show up. And also when you are rusty like that and you're not training, your power doesn't show up because you're not landing clean punches on the spots that you should be landing clean punches on. You ever done that? Well, you're a training guy. You trained hard. But out of experience, when you first got back in the gym after being out for a while, and you get into training, do you remember landing punches that were hard, but they were flat? They just didn't have that crack at first?
Yeah, well, the timing, the snap.
The timing, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's hard. I mean, after being off 2 years, that makes a big difference. Your range and distance is the biggest thing, you know, to get that snap and everything. And I don't care how much you spar. It's totally different than fighting. You know, you get rusty.
I think Thurman, might have been his problem. You know, he's just timing off a little bit, you know? Mm-hmm. And those punches aren't landing pinpoint. They're kind of landing, but they're landing on the cheek. They're landing on the forehead. They're not landing at the point of the chin. They're not landing on the temple, the ear. They're not landing on those places that'll make you dizzy.
Yep. The lazy fat feral cat, Chubby, says, Kelly, which part of the area of knuckles do you use to throw your KO punch?
First two.
Whatever lands.
You try to land the first two. The first two is where you want to aim with, but
mainly wherever it lands.
Whatever it lands.
Yeah.
There's one here. Keon says, I think they should let women wear 8-ounce gloves. We'll see more exciting kills. I can't argue with that. Why not? If you want to be equal down the board, fucking be equal.
Yep. Come
on. Victor said he thought you were Dana White.
James, Spez versus Mikey is on St. Patty's weekend. I'll get you and Kelly a beer.
Who said that?
Nick.
Okay.
The king of the fight night memes. Thurman doesn't sit down on his punches as much anymore.
And I think a lot of that also is not being in shape for the fights. You don't sit up. There he is. Look at that. Look what we brought, guys.
Done with my workout. I couldn't lift a bear today. I can only lift an ox. It wasn't good.
Did you flip over some boats?
No, well, I tried to lift a long ship, but all I could lift was a dinghy.
I know how that is. I've been lifting a dinghy for about 42 years.
Yeah.
I've been lifting a dinghy so much I got raw palms.
Why are your palms so hairy from lifting all those dinghies? Good to see everyone. I'm sorry I'm not in my proper attire.
It's okay. We understand.
Okay.
I was doing a beef sesh.
Nothing wrong with that. You got to keep the vassals at bay.
Yes.
Gains going.
I miss my fans. And as soon as I'm done pillaging in April, I'll be back.
I know you will.
Thank you. Thanks for your presence. We appreciate that, Viking Herm. And for people new on YouTube and the Facebook, new listeners, Viking Herm is
Part of the show.
Part of the show and a mascot, and he comes on usually out of nowhere, and he says really funny things, and he's a tough guy too.
He's a strong guy. Damon says, Damon has a good thing. Guys, how intimidating is it to the opponent when you walk in the ring with Robert and Big G? That has to play a fight mentally. I think so. I think it depends. But yeah, I think having those two guys in your corner makes a big difference. Mm-hmm. It is intimidating. I mean, I remember, I'm sure Kelly remembers that when you had fucking Naseem Richardson in the next corner, like, fuck.
It makes a big difference, and it's sometimes intimidating.
Right? I remember being across the ring from Naseem Richardson in the amateurs, you know what I mean? When you have guys like Tiger and Rock Allen, remember that? Mm-hmm. And fucking, or being across the ring from Joe Goosen.
Yep. Viking turned lumberjack. Groves has retired. I want you to hear your thoughts on his retirement decision and what you thought of him as a boxer.
Alicia says, I didn't know Fury was going to be on the set. They think that was Tyson Fury.
Oh, shit. It does look like him
Tyson
a little
Fury,
bit.
Yeah. Holy shit, who is that monster between you guys? That's Viking Herm. How does the punchline feel about Wilder and Fury 2 in Brooklyn by April or May? Or too soon? Should they get right to it? I'm good with it. I mean, I'm good with it. I think Fury wins again. It's not going to be a draw. I think Fury is going to win.
See, I want to pick Fury again, but a couple of things that Wilder did wrong in that fight makes me nervous, and he could have actually knocked Fury out the first time.
Yeah.
Fury's chin that's a suspect chin, and this time I think if he catches him again like that, he fixes a couple of things. I mean, and I'm talking about only that much work to be done on it. He could change that fight around, but I think it's still going to be a good one. I still think that if Wilder don't knock him out, that Fury wins on a decision.
Randy Shrout says, Kelly, if you come out, what weight class?
Cruiserweight.
Donovan Casford, with Wilder's bro losing 6-12 or 6-12 fighter, what other sibling of a great fighter do you recall losing to a journeyman? Ah, shit. What other fighter's brother? I'm sure there's been a lot of them, but not the ones I think of are all world-class guys that wouldn't have lost to a 6-12.
Which Wilder bro is losing to?
Yeah, Wilder's little brother lost to a 6-12 fighter.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
I didn't even pay attention to it.
But he said, what other fighter do you recall losing to a journeyman? You know what? I'm sure there's been plenty, but
didn't one of the Lazal brothers? They weren't as
no, but like the world-class guys that never, like the Ruelas brothers never lost to a 6-12 guy, and then the Canizales brothers never did. You know those. Yeah. The Ayala brothers, they didn't, you know. Charlos. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Do you guys think Adam Kokrowski can't compete at the top of the heavyweight division? I truly don't. I mean, I think he could crack top 10.
Yeah.
But I don't see him being a guy that could win the title. And who knows? The heavyweight division is so crazy and open.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he won't win a world title. I just don't see it. But I could be wrong on that.
Yeah. Ryan Friesen says, whenever I see Ellie Sek back in the Garcia camp, which seems often, everyone slows down and starts talking with him. But the only person I don't see doing that is Lopez. The guy is always training like an absolute beast. Everyone thought he was going to get knocked out by Thurman, but I knew the guy was going to show up and throw down, and he did. Just that. He came really close to putting Thurman away in the 7th. What an upset that would have been. Early upset of the year. Of course, yeah. And you know what? I love Ellie Sek back. I'm going to be the first to tell you. Ellie's done more for this show than any other reporter, high-level reporter out there.
Yeah,
He's done more. He's shared the show.
Hardest working.
The guy's hard working. I mean, we've been to how many shows? Dozen shows with him?
Yeah.
The guy goes 2 days without eating. He don't sleep. He's always working. I mean, I got to respect that hustle, you know?
Nick Filipkowski says, Rafael Marquez was a lot worse than one, but never lost to a journeyman.
Rafael wasn't a lot worse. Rafael was a 2-time world champion, mm-hmm. You know? He just wasn't one. But
I mean, he never lost to a journeyman.
No, yeah. Rafael was a monster. Do you remember when he fucked up Mark Johnson? I mean...
By his deep says, what is your opinion of the Charlo who just lost? I think he's way overrated personally. I don't think so much as being overrated as I just don't think that they were quite ready. He was quite ready. I mean, we said that numerous times on the show, and I think you're, I don't know, close to being overrated, but I think he's good. I just don't see him being the top of his weight class right now.
You have some new listeners right now, Kelly. Kenny Roberts says, okay, Kelly, I don't know if you've answered yet. Where does you maybe making a return on boxing? Is any truth to that rumor?
We're seriously considering it. But guys, it's going to take some time. I mean, this is a thing. You know, I'm not coming back for a career.
You're not coming back. You're not coming back for a paycheck. You're just coming back.
I'm just coming back because I feel good.
You got you got that itch in your belly.
Strong as bull. Y'all see that?
Kelly has that itch inside of his belly that he just can't scratch.
Key. So, well, we'll see. You know, we'll let everybody know when the time comes. And again, tune into this show. But it's going to be a process. I mean, there's a lot to work out.
It says Corlin said Thurman's next fight, Jeff Horn or Bertho, but definitely not Broner. You know, I think I have more faith in Thurman. I think you're going to see Danny Garcia again. I think that's what you'll see. I don't think you're going to see Bertho or Jeff Horn. I think you're going to see Danny. Because you know what, Corlin, those fights won't sell. Nobody's going to pay to watch Bertho. And it's not that I'm Bertho. I love Andre Bertho and I love Horn.
Yeah, they're done.
But no one's going to pay for it. But they will pay to see Danny Garcia again. Yep. Or even Sean Porter.
Julian Slowwater goes, Fury gave Wilder a boxing lesson. He just got clipped mid-fight and dropped in the last round. Every round was Fury's besides the 2 times he got countered.
Yeah.
The second fight, I think Fury stops Wilder. Listen, but he got caught. And there was a couple things that Wilder did wrong also where he could have caught Fury a lot more. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I see your point definitely on that, but if Wilder didn't make those handful of mistakes and screw up and missed opportunities, he could have actually had Fury out of there a lot quicker or could have knocked him out. So
well, let's not forget the fact that he stood in the middle of the ring and danced like a jackass and lost 4 seconds on the count.
Yeah.
If he would have went to his corner, there was no way Fury would have made that count if he went right to his corner like you're supposed to. But instead,
he would have.
You think he would have made that count?
Yeah, I recorded it.
No, but if he lost 4 seconds on the count.
But I timed it from the time that Fury's back hit the canvas till the time he got up, and it was under 10 seconds. So,
but Jack Reese quit counting to put Wilder. But if Wilder would have went to his corner, there would have been no break in the count.
Yep.
Keon says, Kelly, I followed your whole career. You were one of my favorite fighters. Who would you say was your toughest opponent?
Man, I probably would have to say the obvious Hopkins, even though it wasn't the healthiest. But I got to take into consideration that I jumped 2 weight classes to a weight where he was used to fighting at, and so that made a big difference. And his experience and ring IQ. Esteban
says Oscar Valdez also fight on ESPN. Underrated fighter, goes on radar. Oscar Valdez is an amazing fighter. He's an Olympian. Remember we watched him in the amateurs fight Lomachenko.
Yeah.
This kid can fight.
Here's the one that's more aimed towards you, James.
Yeah.
Swarm Fight Team. Thoughts on fighters holding 2 titles? That seems to be the move now in MMA. Isn't Cormier the only fighter to defend both titles? Conor has never defended a title either in the UFC or in Europe.
I disagree with it. I think a lot of those guys, they hold the title hostage, and it keeps other people from getting a fair shot. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it would be accepted by any other fighter but Conor McGregor. And I'm not bad-mouthing Conor because I like Conor as a fighter. I just think that he gets away with things that other fighters don't.
He's good for the sport.
He's great for the sport.
For that, their sport. So, Joey goes, Mr. Pavlik and Mr. Dominguez. Groves retired. Can you speak on this? What do you think of his career?
Who?
Groves.
I thought George Groves was an amazing fighter. I thought he was a very good and very strong fighter. What do you think, Kelly?
I've seen him fight a handful of times, and he was impressive. He was. I didn't follow into him too much, though. Wilder was fighting off his heels. Fury was the aggressor. He wasn't. But Fury controlled the fight. So sometimes, not even being the aggressor, you can still be controlling the fight. It's hard to explain, but even when he wasn't being the aggressor, he was still controlling the tempo of the fight. He was still landing counter punches, which is why I gave him the round. So,
my thing is this, and we've said it before. A lot of power punchers, and not all of them. I'm not saying all of them, but for the most part, real power punchers that don't have a lot of technique, they can't fight backwards. Guys like Julian Jackson, guys like Gerald McClellan, guys like Golovkin. Who else am I missing? Nigel Benn. Some of these big monsters, Wilder's another one. They can't fight off their back feet. A lot, when you can do that, it means you have boxing skill too, and you're able to do that. Kelly was able to do it because he had boxing skill before he did power. You were a boxer before you ever were a puncher. And if anybody knew you early in your career or in your amateur days, they would saw you as a boxer. So normally when somebody says power puncher, the advice I usually give to fighters is get him, back him up, get him on his heels, because then you'll even the fight out a little bit.
Exactly. If you would rather not speak about it, would you be happy to explain? Francisca, what is this?
Where's that?
Why did Broner say he won? Do you think it was close?
I think Broner's just talking shit. It's his ego.
It says if you would rather not speak about it,
we'll talk.
Be happy to explain why.
No, we don't give a fuck. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about anything. We don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't know why he. I truly don't. I don't know what he's seen or why he thought he won the fight.
His ego.
Even ego, sometimes you got to.
You got to, but I mean that's for. Yeah. But he may have some problems that I mean. There was nobody else in the world that could say he won.
Yeah. Dude, Francesca, I think Broner's a great guy.
I do too.
Dude, I just think some things he does, I'm not a fan of. But I met him personally. I met him when the cameras ain't on, and there's a lot of guys out there when the cameras are off. They're cool, they're humble.
Yeah.
I just say, he fights and he does good for the sport because he attracts people to the sport.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you hate him or like him.
And he is a good. He's not what people think he is. He's a good guy. The thing is, I don't know. It might be the people he's surrounded with. It might be just things. I don't know. Yep. Esteban said, James, your unbiased opinion. Who is the best you've ever seen at any level of boxing going backwards? Honestly, Orlando Canizales was the best I've ever seen go backwards and fight. I mean, that's when I think of a puncher, boxer, and going backwards, he was one of the ones that did it. And also Roy Jones Jr.
I gotta say Mayweather.
But he wasn't what you call a knockout artist. That's what he's asking, a knockout artist.
Oh, knockout artist. I was saying because he fucked people up going backwards.
Oh, he did. But I mean, he wasn't one that got hit you with one shot and you were going to go to sleep.
No.
But what about Roy Jones, Orlando Canizales? You know who else? I'm going to say Michael Nunn. Michael Nunn or James Toney, they would back up and fuck you up.
Yep. Francisco says he loves you. Very sweet with you. Yeah, and I got to ask, of course, when somebody likes you, you're going to be cool with him. But no, I mean, like I said, I think Broner is a different guy off the camera, and people don't know that. So,
Tim Savicas says Omar Figueroa versus John Molina Jr. This fight will be a war. I got Molina Jr. Mm-hmm. Omar, as much as I like Omar's biggest battle is the kitchen. Omar's a welterweight that walks around at 205, 209 pounds. That does wear on your body, running and not fighting for the past 2-3 years like Omar hasn't. He had the Broner fight fall through. He had the Mikey fight fall through.
I like the fucking kitchen too.
We all do, but we don't get paid $200,000 either to not be in there.
I know. Rebecca says Gary Russell Jr. versus Leo Santa Cruz. I got Gary.
I got Leo.
And I got Gary too, Rebecca.
I got Leo.
Hey guys, love the show. I am an amateur boxer and an explosive guy with speed, but I want to know how do you get the leverage, torque, follow through, and snapping my punch like Kelly and Miranda has.
Hips. Start training your hips.
The leverage, how you throw your punches, it's a that's another one. It takes time. I don't know if you want to go back and redo your form, but a lot of that starts there because either you have power or you don't, and you could add on to a little bit. But I think if you are going to be able to ever fix it, it's going to come down to how you throw your punch, the torque that you get, the leverage.
Also, and Kelly can tell you better than I can. I was not a big puncher when I fought. I think in my brain I was, but I probably wasn't. But make sure you don't have a hitch in your right hand or your left hand. And when I talk about a hitch, the best way I can explain is if you got your hands here, right, and you'll see a lot of amateurs, and you'll even see some pros, they make the mistake of doing this when they throw the right hand. That right hand comes down and then they throw it. Don't do that. If you're going to throw the right hand, it comes from here. It comes right from the chin. It comes right all the way over. A lot of people that hitch, and when you throw that hitch, you lose power automatically, and you lose leverage when you get a hitch. I've seen a lot of guys do that, and it's not corrected. That punch should come out just like a spring. It comes out, and it comes right back to where it came from. It never drops. It never deviates. I don't know what you think.
Good point. I mean,
and your hip,
I don't know how much of that, but yeah, but if you do drop it down, you're taking power off.
You're taking power off. And also, snap your hips. You'll see a lot of people throw punches, but they don't snap the hips.
But it's hard if somebody hasn't done that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
He's asking what
exactly.
You do.
That's the only thing I could think of. And you got to do that. It's got to be a repetitious thing day in, day out.
Yes.
Most of your training and training camp to work on that.
Yes, Michael, it's live. He says live. I don't see the questions. You're going to have to swipe away. But no, when you snap the hip, you add a little bit more power and a little bit more speed. When you use your hips the right way, what it does, it's an illusion. It makes you look faster than you really are. I mean, not much, but it makes you look faster. It looks you a little sharper. But, anything you can for an advantage. And being an amateur, you need that advantage in the ring. Sometimes it's better to look good and lose than look bad and win in the amateurs.
Yeah. It's a good breakdown, James.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's an honor coming from you.
Jake Miller, who would take in a Fury versus AJ matchup?
I would have to say Fury again.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think AJ does enough. AJ might be the U.S. or the British version of Broner.
Yeah, I think Fury wins that one too. Again, it's hard to say because Joshua is. I mean, he's a physical specimen. I mean, he looks genetically built. But I just have a hard time. I mean, he don't impress me that much at heavyweight. I think Wilder beats him.
Yeah, I agree. There's a good question here.
Rebecca Goosen says, you guys are going to think I'm nuts, but Gary versus Loma on a rematch.
Russell and Lomachenko?
Yeah.
He's too small now at this point.
That's why. And Loma, if anything, has gotten better.
Yeah,
I understand that was real early in Loma's career.
Yeah.
And Gary Russell's good, and he's top fighter, but Lomachenko is just more experienced now, more fit into the pro style. I just see Lomachenko.
Well, and Lomachenko's 2 weight classes ahead already at this point, and you can't get that back. Gary Russell hasn't moved because he's a naturally small guy. Yeah. I think Gary Russell has Leo Santa Cruz problems, and me and Kelly disagree with this, and I'll tell you why. He'll tell you. Kelly loves Gary's speed, and you love his sharp shooting, his counter punching ability. For me, I like Leo Santa Cruz's power, and I like his volume punching. So we're both stuck on this, and I would be crazy to disagree with Kelly, and that would be stupid of me to disagree because of that. Because Gary Russell's an amazing fighter. I would just say, if I was a betting man, I would pick Leo.
And I agree with you that we can't look past it because Santa Cruz is great, tough. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a fight. But
Ivan Ocampo says this, Kelly. It's a good question for you. How do you guys see Kovalev versus Alvarez too? Is it 50-50?
I think Alvarez wins. I just see Kovalev. Unfortunately, I think he's seen his best days, and I don't think he's going to bounce back and beat Alvarez.
And his training habits aren't what they should be. They never have. Slavin says, I think Hurd beats Munguia, but only just. I think Hurd beats Munguia too. I think Hurd might be the best junior middleweight in the world. Mm-hmm. And Hurd's another one. He doesn't do everything great. He just does everything good, and he's tough as fuck, man.
I think his size and at the weight that he fights is his biggest plus right now.
Yeah, Alicia. Hey, I'll tell you what, this Alicia knows her fucking boxing, man. Too bad Gary only fights once a year, and that's a problem. And it's management issues. It's not Gary. Sometimes you get bad management. They just don't fight, man. Nothing you can do. But I agree.
You got Julian Slowwater says, your opinions on TJ Dillashaw and how he has taken his loss. And what are your opinions on fighters that are sore losers? Is it good, bad, or just okay?
Well, go ahead, Kelly.
I speak for myself. A loss is a loss, and, you got to move on. As they always say, it's what you're supposed to do. Suck it up, and it's a learning experience. Some of your greatest fighters of all time has had numerous losses.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I haven't paid attention. I know he lost. I know he got stopped. I haven't paid attention to anything afterwards because I usually don't, because a lot of times the shit you hear is false. But I don't know how he's taking it.
Well, I will say TJ's a
very competitive
TJ's a good kid. We like him. He's been on the show before. He's friends with our homie, Roger. And I think a lot of it, and I really do, I think TJ may have peaked early in camp. I said that the other day. He was already, he cut 15 pounds in how many days was that? 5 days? 4 days? He was cutting 15 pounds. He peaked really early, and I think that he had a hellacious weight cut. He was less than 1% body fat the day before the fight. That is awful.
But for it to happen that quick is what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's not the case.
I think it was early stoppage.
But I think that we don't know if that was the case.
No,
either,
no,
the fight wasn't long enough to base it off that.
I think it was early stoppage, though. I would have gave him a little more time. You always give the champion a chance.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true too. Let's see. Here was a good question in here.
Alicia's right. TJ cut too much weight, and I think so. I agree with her.
Lazy Fat Feral Cat says, "I hear Kovalev isn't so nice when the cameras are off." I have to.
Who is?
That Kovalev is not that.
No,
nice.
he's not. I've know Kovalev in person. I was in camp around the camp during Ward 1, and I know what kind of person he is. And I'm not going to shit on the guy, but he's not a nice guy. And even there was an experience too when even after I've known the guy a year, and I met him off and on, and I even helped out with some of the things in Oxnard. Me and Damon, who works on the show, we saw him in New York, and when we saw him and I said hello, he treated us like shit. Like I was like a fan, just wanted to get an autograph, which wasn't. I was just saying hello.
You guys just told me, you and Roger used to tell me that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just not a nice guy. I mean, I don't, I don't want to go into too much detail, but he's just not the nicest guy. I mean,
Emilio X goes, "I think Joshua stops Wilder. Joshua has head movement and hard combos. Wilder is a one-trick pony, right hand, only no footwork, and he don't move the head." Yeah. Emilio, I see your point, but I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I can see what he's saying. I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I know where he's
My thing
from.
is Joshua is not active enough. For a guy like a Wilder is a guy that throws a lot of punches. He might not be the best punches, but they're hard. He throws a lot of them. Joshua almost got smoked in his last 2 fights. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean, and he gets tired. You even go back to the Klitschko fight. It's an older Klitschko. Lobster again says, "Speaking of heavyweights, what are your thoughts about that Parker? Is a little too small for heavyweight? Can he go down a light heavyweight?" I think Parker is good. I think he fought Big Joshua and gave him fits.
Maybe cruiserweight. You know who I'm impressed with is Dylan White and Joshua. That's going to be a fight. I like Dylan White. Yeah. Damon said he was a dick. He lost me as a fan. It's true. I mean, I've known the guy off and on for a year. I'm not saying we were friends, but we've talked, and I've been in camp while he trained. I carry equipment, and you do things like you help out in camp, right? Yeah. And then he treats you like a fucking. Like I'm a fan asking for an autograph, which you know me, I don't do that. I don't fanboy anybody unless you're Michael Carbajal. And that was at one time I fanboyed because
fanboyed the shit out of him.
That was my idol growing up, was Michael Carbajal, man.
I think you did more than fanboy.
I fanboyed Michael Carbajal.
Do you remember when your mommy used to call you this?
You shut your mouth. Does Virgil Ortiz steal Ryan Garcia's Golden Boy Thunder after Virgil's performance? I think he stole that a long time ago, honestly. But on the same token, Ryan Garcia is getting better and better.
Yeah, I think so. I thought he looked good his last fight.
I think he did. But Virgil's a different type of fighter.
Okay, Jake Moore says, TJ was not champ at 125. Did James mean champ as in UFC champ in general?
What's that? What'd I say?
TJ was not champ at 125.
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
No, I never said that.
I'm not real big into the MMA.
No, I didn't say he was a champ at 120. I'm just saying, as he was a champion and he is a champion, he should be given that opportunity. Mm-hmm. But Esteban said, James, you should have said this to Kovalev. Cat, Dumont, I don't. My Russian's a little rusty. Chit-cha.
Mr. Pavlik and Mr. Do either of you have any stories about Darnell Boone?
I do.
Either of you know him well?
Yes.
He fought so many great fighters and gave a lot of them problems.
You know him well.
I know. I was actually the first one to ever spar with Darnell Boone. I was his first sparring partner ever. Darnell, yeah, he's a good dude. Solid guy.
I talk to Darnell maybe once every couple of weeks. He texts and something or messages, and we just talk. Darnell's a good guy.
Yeah, he's from my home. He's trained with my trainer, my gym.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say anything bad about Darnell. I've never had a bad experience with him in my entire life. I like Darnell. I only hope the best for his career, and I hope he's successful. I mean, he's had a lot of great fights.
Absolutely.
What was it like sparring him for his very first time?
Oh, it was fun.
He whooped his ass pretty bad.
He came in, he called me out.
Did he?
Yeah, he came into the gym.
Never had a fight.
South side of Youngstown, Ohio, and Jack goes, and he didn't know anything about boxing either. He was just he was a hell of a street fighter, I guess, and screwed everybody up.
Did you tell him there was a difference, huh?
Well, he came in, and Jack goes, pick who you want to work with. Knowing that he was going to pick me because I was this skinny little string bean.
And how many fights did you already have?
Oh, 60.
No, you were an amateur.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I was like top of the game. I mean, I was ranked in the country, and you picked me, and cool. As soon as he picked me, everybody started laughing. You know what I mean? Because they knew what was coming.
Did he make it, or did he stop him? Kind of like.
So he quit.
Yeah, he wasn't ready for that.
But it was his first time, and then after that, look where he went. Darnell went on to have a good ass career and dropped and beat big name fighters.
And that's intestinal fortitude. I mean, that's something that you can't teach as a heart. You can teach a jab, you can teach defense, you can teach all those things, but you can't teach a heart. Either you got it or you don't.
How about Hurd versus Julian J. Rock William?
I like Hurd.
Yeah, me too.
I like Hurd, man. I like Julian too. I just think with that kind of chin, that kind of work rate, and that kind of strength, it's hard to beat a guy like that. You're going to have to be a sharpshooting ass boxer that has a good chin to beat him. You're not going to beat
endurance.
This guy. And endurance.
Like I'm talking about, because not only to keep up with his punch output, but to keep up with the big body banging off you for 12 rounds. That's going to be hard.
Greg Richardson, Russians are just not naturally personable. I mean, Kovalev. You know, Greg, I would say that, but you know, my family, Roger, trained with Russians. He trains Russians. He's worked with, I know Kovalev's Ukrainian, but there's a lot of Russians on the team, and those guys are the nicest guys in the world. Russians might be that way in the real world, but in boxing gym, it's a whole different world. Mm-hmm. And if I'm telling you Kovalev's a fucking dick, he's a fucking dick. Even his own team will tell you he's a fucking dick.
I heard from everybody over there too.
Damon says, now that Josh Patton is in love, will he have any black or brown fighters on his next pound for pound list? You guys think of Rojas should have got the decision over Can? You know what? I don't think so, Alicia. I don't think so at all. I don't think Rojas won that fight. Donovan says, does Joe Smith have a puncher's chance against the technically better Dimitri? Absolutely not. No. Absolutely not. No. Bivol is gonna. I'm not even gonna cuss. Bivol is gonna hurt him.
I have to put a muzzle on. The King of Fight Night means who's the top guy in each division in your opinions?
Oh shit! I don't want to go through all the divisions. Yeah, how about we just go to like welterweight or lightweight?
We'll do that.
Heavyweight, Kelly.
Heavyweight.
Fury or Wilder.
What's that?
Oh, he can't because Virgil Hunter kept him over.
Heavyweight, I got Fury right now.
Okay. Cruiserweight, Usyk. Light heavy, Bivol. 68.
Benavidez.
You got Benavidez? Can't argue with that. 60. Canelo. 54.
Hurd.
47. Spence. Crawford. I got Crawford.
I'm gonna go Crawford right now. Sorry. 40? I know. I thought you were going to eat me up for that.
40? No, I'm asking you. I'm not. Who the fuck's that? Regis Prograis at 40?
Oh,
I got, what's the Russian's name? I got Regis Prograis at 40 as the best.
I'm going to go and say that because I can't think of the
35?
Loma.
What about Mikey?
Well, was Mikey campaigning at 40? But I could put Mikey actually won at 40.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a 40 last time.
Yeah. He won the world title at
35 Lomachenko?
Yeah.
Okay, and 30? Gervonta Davis. 26?
Oh, God.
You got Gary Russell or you got Leo Santa Cruz?
Gary
Russell.
Gary
Wharton.
Russell.
Or Warrington.
Russell.
I got Leo. Oliver said, I'm going to fanboy Kelly if I meet you guys in Dallas. Get ready for at least a photo. I'm just tuning in, so forgive me. This has been but what's next for Broner? Or is he done?
What's up, Oliver?
I don't think so. I don't think Broner's done. I think Broner puts asses in seats, and as long as you can do that, they'll always find a spot for you on a card. It may not be Showtime. It may not be pay-per-view, but you'll get them on an ESPN card or something for now.
Rufio goes, any thoughts on Triple G versus Canelo 3? Yeah, I hope it don't happen. I swear, I know it sounds crazy to say that, but I think Canelo got a good amount of time left in his career, and these fights, those fights take a lot out. They do.
Esteban says, what about Kana Islam, Rogers fighter, and J-Rock? I got Kana. Kana is 25-0. This kid's a monster.
Got a question for you.
Me?
Yeah. Francisca wants to know, where did it go? Why did Kovalev show disdain for you, James?
He showed disdain for everybody, not just me.
I think it was mainly James.
He was an Oxnard.
You were singled out.
He was an Oxnard. He didn't like Mexicans. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what started the issue, and I'm going to speak on it, and I wasn't going to, but I'm going to give you the story. And Robert Garcia can corroborate my story, and so can Roger Romo. And All Access was coming into the gym for Kovalev and Ward 1. And we were all there, and so was the fight game. They just did an interview with Jim Lampley on the fight game. We were all there. Well, right before the interview, Kovalev's handler brought in a bunch of communist posters and communists and started hanging them all over the walls in Oxnard, communist shit. And they asked to take them down, and when we started taking them down, Kovalev got mad at the people taking them down, which I was told to do it because I was helping out. That's my job. Robert Garcia was not, that was his gym at the time. It wasn't Lomachenko's or Egas's. Robert is not going to put a bunch of communist propaganda all over his gym. I mean, obviously for All Access. And I think ever since that time, he was kind of been not real nice. And, you know, even his own trainers had issues with him. Roger Romo, who was a strength and conditioning coach, he had issues. He don't, Kovalev doesn't like to pay his people. I'm going to say it. He don't like to pay. He didn't pay his strength and conditioning guys. He doesn't pay his sparring partners. He just doesn't pay. And I mean, that's all it is. But it was just, he's a dick to everybody. And I don't know.
The King of Fight Night meme says, appreciate it, guys, and I agree with the majority of your picks, except I got Callum Smith as the best at 168 instead of Benavidez, and I got Josh Taylor at 140 instead of Prograis.
I can't argue with him. I mean, that's the thing with this boxing, guys.
Josh Taylor. I still, that's another one that verdicts out, though, a little bit.
And, you know, yeah, but you know another thing, though, and I agree. When it comes to picks, guys, unless your pick is totally fucking stupid, I'm not going to argue with you on it. You know what I mean? If you pick Taylor or you pick Callum Smith, I'm not going to argue that. They're good fighters. But if you said, like, you know, if you told me, like, I don't know, Josh Kelly was the greatest welterweight in the world or whatever, I'd look at you like you're crazy right now.
Julian Slowwater Bank says, Tank will beat Loma when and if they fight. I think he will bring the fight, push the pace, and get Loma out of there early. He will be the young, hungry, and strong. Too young, hungry, and strong for Loma.
Who said that?
Julian Slowwater.
And that's when we go back to stupid comments. No, I'm just joking. I'm going to tell you what, nobody is beating Lomachenko and getting him out of there, especially Gervonta Davis. Gervonta's good, but Lomachenko is levels and levels above these guys.
And we'll get shit for saying that, but
I don't give a shit. What are they going to do? Cancel the show?
I remember nobody's done what he's done, and I remember somebody saying, well, that's not hard to do. And it's like, well, how come nobody's done it? Right?
Yeah. They said it's not hard to do what Lomachenko does. And what did you say? If it's so easy, how come no one else does it?
Yeah, how come nobody else does it?
How come no one else has
a world title fight and
12 fights and beat 7 world champions?
Yep. And don't throw me out there a bantamweight either. I'm talking about in a weight class that's filled with talent.
Yeah, and you know what? Gervonta is a smaller guy than Lomachenko. I mean, he might walk around heavier, but he's a smaller guy, and the
Michael
thing is this.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Michael Dunn, you had a good question. Big fan, guys. How many rounds should an amateur spar per week?
Depends on what you're training for.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think you need to go more than 10.
Are you training for a smoker or are you training for a tournament?
Tournament. You still don't ever have to go more because the tournament's really wear and tear on the body, especially amateurs.
4 or 5 day tournament?
Yeah. So it all depends, like James said, it depends on the level you're at, what you're fighting in.
It depends on your natural conditioning already. Some people don't need to do as much because they stay in shape.
You got to remember, even if you're an amateur and you're sparring, that's still shots to the head. You got to think about a kid's future also.
Yeah.
Sparring is where most of the injuries and long-term damage comes from. That is from sparring. So you got to be careful with that also and look at that part of it.
I agree with you, Kelly. Steve says Loma crushes Davis. I'm not going to say that either. I'm not going to say Lomachenko crushes Davis. Davis is a next-level talent. I just think right now, I think Lomachenko still is the boss there at that weight class.
I mean, Lomachenko could be tough up at 140.
Yeah.
147. He's a big lightweight.
Yeah.
Talking about a kid right now, Gervonta, who's 130.
Yeah.
Hama
Gale Hode says, the ghost is true that you're coming back. I'm a fan.
It is definitely being thought about. And I am actually training and working out. 2 bucks.
Well, it looks like you took off about 15, 20 pounds already.
I am actually down to 230.
Fuck. Yeah, you took off 20 pounds then, right?
Well, yeah.
Well, what was your last?
I was bouncing between 242 and 250.
Your powerlifting was 253, right?
Well, I was up. I got peaked at 253.
That's what I'm saying, and now you're down. So shit. And see, another guy is too. Gary Russell's a guy that can fight backwards.
Oh yeah,
Gary Russell fights well backwards.
Joey, nobody's giving you shit, bro.
Who said that?
Joey, he just goes, I'm getting shit for saying Tank would beat Loma.
No, not at all.
That is just what I believe.
Not at all.
Man. No, you're not getting shit for it, and can it happen? Possibly, yeah. But just for our pick, we think Loma, is just a little too big right now, too experienced,
a little too skilled.
Yeah, too skilled.
I think, and you got to remember this too. Tank did not have the best look a couple fights ago. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He looked terrible. If he fought like that against Lomachenko, like he did when he was dressed like Cookie Monster.
Yeah. Well, hey, Samsung S4 got a good one. Who wins? Tank at 130 or 2002 130 Manny?
Oh, Manny.
Gotta go with Manny, man.
Dude, I don't think Manny would have beat Lomachenko.
That was a fucking
Manny would have fought Lomachenko.
Hell.
Dude, Manny never quit throwing punches, man. And everything he hit was
power,
hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
Knocking.
I think the only guy that would have beat Manny at that time was Edwin Valero.
Because of his chin and pop.
Power, yeah. But other than that, I think... Oh, and Eric Morales beat Manny at that time. But that was another level of fighter.
Well, guys, we got 4 minutes left. So let's try to get these... We're going to try to get as much in as we can.
Yeah, I know we have a lot of questions, guys, and we're trying. We did, Daniel. We did discuss Virgil Ortiz, and we talked about he is a next level prospect. He is not. I don't even think me and Kelly don't. Even, I don't want to call him a prospect anymore. I think he's a young contender now. Yeah,
definitely. Jay and Charter goes, if you do end up coming back, who would you be interested in fighting? Man, we'll get. We'll think about that closer. I haven't really thought about it. I mean, right now is more cutting the weight.
I've been thinking about it, Kelly.
Yeah, getting the muscles trained back in the boxing, which is not taking as long as I thought it would.
I've been thinking about it. You want to hear who I think you should fight?
Who?
Andre Ward. I think you should fight Andre Ward. You guys both been off. Yeah. We saw Andre Ward 220 right now. Andre's been off for a couple years himself. You've been off for a little longer. But I personally think that was a fight that was supposed to have been made, and because he got injured, it would be perfect to make that fight between you guys. And I think there's a lot of interest in that fight. I think you guys would sell out. What? We'd be going to camp. There would be no punchline.
Man.
Hey, there would be no punchline. We'd be going to camp. The punchline goes to Riverside. Well, let me ask you this, Kelly. Oh yeah, and you know what? One thing I was thinking about too is Kelly's had some big offers from great trainers, and I think it's awesome. I think Jack, your old trainer Jack, is a great trainer. I mean, you can't deny what he's done with your career. Also, Joe Goosen reached out. Ricky Funes, their team. Robert Garcia said, "You better call me, fucker." That was his word, so that means yeah. But me personally, I would like to see you home with Robert again. I just think that you guys mesh well as a team, but definitely. That's your decision. I'm just telling you, from me, that's what I would like.
Yep. Samsung, Kelly, how does your wife and family feel about you coming back? They are not a fan of it, and I don't give a fuck. But that's another one that's got to be worked out.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Your wife is the most down-to-earth person in the world. Money doesn't motivate her. You know what I mean? Money doesn't motivate her. Fame doesn't motivate her. She just wants you to be safe. Yeah, and dude, that's all you can ask for out of another person. You know what I mean? Somebody that just wants you to be safe. Fuck it. I can't argue that.
Drunk on punches. Better beef at cruiser. Kelly stops him. Chin music. Ooh.
Yeah, better beef is a small, light, heavyweight.
I mean, y'all cats don't even want me tuning back into this lately. You guys, by the time I come back, it'll be over 7 years. Well over 7 years off. And you guys are talking about Ward, better beef. Ward ain't been nowhere near as retired as long as I have.
No, but it's an interesting fight.
Go fight Joshua and Wilder back to back.
We're bringing Lennox Lewis back.
Be like bull in a ring. Kelly, your next fight, you got blue corner Joshua, red corner Wilder, you got Fury in neutral corner.
Virgil Ortiz said, "I'm training Kelly when he comes back." Virgil, you worked mid for Kelly last time we went to California.
I like it too, Virgil. You do good with the pads, man.
You do good. You're not where I'm at yet, but we're working on that.
I think Virgil just wants to get close to me and smell my scent.
Yeah, he does. He wants to sniff your eyelashes.
Virgil, just ask, buddy.
He just wants to look in your eyes.
These eyelashes need some landscaping.
Wait, did y'all interview? We did at Cortland. We did at Mario Barrios, but Virgil Hunter kept him over. We're gonna have to catch him next week. He's running late. He texted us and said that Virgil Hunter has him running late, and you know that's Virgil's thing. Virgil Hunter's one of those guys that'll work you to death.
Absolute.
I would like Usyk's first fight at heavyweight to be Povetkin. You guys' choice. You know, I think Usyk probably needs to work into that weight class.
I don't know. I think 1 or 2 fights, not even 2 fights.
No, I mean, but work in maybe a good, easy fight and then see where he does.
He's a big boy.
He's big.
And you know, these guys that he's fighting also, they have to make 200.
Yeah.
As where heavyweight don't have to make 200.
Yeah.
So heavyweight's not drying out. They're going right in. Some of these cruiserweights, this is one of the very few weight classes that you could do this. He is actually fighting heavyweights. I mean, these guys are probably drained to make 200, and they're probably rehydrating back up to 220, you know, or between 210 and 220. So he's fighting heavyweights, and he's fighting at heavyweight.
Did you tell Virgil he's on our bad list anyway?
No.
All the new shirts come out, and he didn't remember us on the new shirt list. Virgil didn't get the new shirts out.
He didn't get the memo.
He didn't get the memo. Now, he wants to hold mitts, but he can't remember something simple like shirts.
All right, we're going to get this last question in. Mr. Palick, I think Joe Smith Jr. would accept a fight with you at Cruiser, and I would think that would be a good fight first back. Yeah, you would stop him.
I'd fight to beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah, I would, because he got a mouth.
He got a mouth. He wanted to talk some shit before. Esteban says Emil stops Kelly in round 1, then gives him autographed Puerto Rican shorts. Let me tell you about Emil before we get off here. Emil was Mexican one week. He was Puerto Rican the next week, and now he's Samoan or Tongan and doing a haka now.
He's Arabic.
This dude is the biggest fucking idiot. Oh my God.
He's actually worse than Charlie Z.
He is.
Charlie Z is funny. All right.
All right. Have Usyk fight David Price. His name, and Price likes to take a nap on canvas. Hey, I can't argue with that, Donovan. And Diamond's watching. How you doing, Diamond? I went to school with her.
All right, Andrew, I got to answer this one too.
Okay.
Then we got to get moving. We got to stick to a format, guys. Bear with. Kelly, big fan. I'm born and raised right outside Atlantic City, where you fought a few times. Don't come back. You've been out of it for 6 years. Stay home and enjoy your family. I appreciate that too, Andrew. I mean, I'm not mad about it. I appreciate your response, and that's cool.
Darren has one last question. How do you feel about Teofimo's fight this weekend? Big step up? Teofimo Lopez.
Who's he fighting? Yeah, I don't know. We did. He's at that stage where it's hard to keep up.
Yeah,
the guy who he's fighting.
I like Teofimo. I think he's one of those guys that are head and shoulders above the rest too.
I think whoever he's fighting, they're matching him up, and he's going to win.
Yeah.
Down the line, we'll find out more. But
yeah, hey guys, and Tyke says Kelly, it'd be great if you came back. If you don't, you're already great. Hey guys, great show today. We love all the feedback. We love all the questions, and I just wanted to say, if you guys like the show, share it.
Yep.
Subscribe.
Share, subscribe. Like and ring that bell.
Hit that bell icon and let you know when the new shows are. Did you tell them about the fight? What we're doing now? Fight Companion?
Fight Companion, yes. Saturday. Right, Justin? Saturday we will be doing Fight Companion. If you don't know what it is, Google it or YouTube it. Joe Rogan does it. It's pretty neat. I think you guys will like it. You'll be able to interact with us still while the fight's going on.
While the fight's going on. We're going to commentate on the fight. And you guys could watch the fight with us and commentate with us on the fight. Exactly. We can't show you the fight because based on licensing agreements, but you can watch the fight at your house.
And turn the volume down.
Turn the volume down and actually get real commentating. And you guys your voices can be heard too.
Exactly.
And you guys can sit with us and do a Fight Companion with all of us. We're going to have Matt Brown from the UFC doing Fight Companion.
As of right now, we're going to have Matt Brown. We have to make sure he's coming up.
Yeah, Matt Brown from the UFC will be doing one eventually, though, for sure.
Yes.
He's going to do one, and we're going to do a UFC one with him, right?
Yeah, he's going to do boxing with us, and we're going to do UFC with him. So, guys, I think you'll really like that Fight Companion. It's going to be hard to text what you think is going on while watching the fight. So have your spell check ready.
Alicia says, I love Joe Rogan's Fight Companion. You guys will do great. Thank you, Alicia. And we got to have you there because you know a shit ton about boxing. And you keep us on track. But having Matt Brown from the UFC, he's a big boxing fan. I think Fight Companion will be a game changer for all of us.
Absolutely.
Everybody bitches about the commentating and how biased it is and how they hate it. They turn their sound down. We'll turn the sound down.
A lot of guys on YouTube saying that they'll be on for the fight.
What? Turn it on, and we'll actually talk. You guys have a say in how the fight goes. We'll do open scoring We'll open score the fight, and we'll compare our scores, and we'll just talk shit.
Yep. Well, guys, will be fun. So.
All right, guys.
Yeah, it's relaxed. Don't worry about it. I mean, I don't want, nothing's going to get out of hand.
Rudy's on there.
Hi, Rudy.
Hi, Rudy. Oliver, yeah, guys, if you guys want to get, you can all be part of commentating. We'll all be a commentating team for this.
I wonder how horrible that sounded. Hi, Rudy.
I will not be here next Tuesday. You tell him.
Oh, yeah, but we're probably going to do a pre-recorded show.
Yes, I will be gone. I will be.
Or if not, I'll have some other buffoon in studio, and you guys will have to bear with.
Well, Justin's a great buffoon for that.
Justin won't do it.
Yes, he will.
Justin don't like sitting in front of the camera.
You could bring what's his name in? You could bring Vinny and fuck Vinny. Vinny's in trouble with us, making fun of our clothes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Vinny made fun of our clothes on his show.
Our attire.
He said that we can't dress for shit.
But Vinny don't realize he's 40. Vinny don't really. Hey,
this is North Face.
What was his name?
The guy wearing the Youngstown, Ohio t-shirt.
I like that.
Vinny's just like B-Rab, still B-Rabbit from Malibu's Most Wanted.
Vinny dresses like a TJ Maxx Eminem or Ollie's Eminem. You know what I mean?
41-year-old.
41-year-old TJ Maxx clearance Eminem, or what's that one? What's that one store where they?
Don't hate on TJ Maxx.
No, but what's that one store where they sell?
Right? Or Burlington.
Burlington Coat Factory Eminem.
Yep.
I bet he has a bunch of the Echo clothes.
All right, guys. Well, hey, great show.
Thank you, Alicia. We appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
She said we dress like men. We don't need to be getting all pretty.
That's right.
Thank you, Alicia. You know what? She's my new best friend. I don't give a fuck. She's the third person on this show from now on. Yep. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week, or Kelly will, and we will see you for Fight Companion Saturday.